Okay, good morning everybody. Hope we're all here. Sun is shining. So we'll just kick off on housekeeping. We've got the first broadcast section, which will go at 11 today, and then we'll go into an embargo section for Tuesday at 10:30, and then Wednesday at 12 o'clock, which I will call in. So if we're all ready, Mark Scott from PLP.
Morning, Mikel. Hope you're well. Just first of all, team news and any updates? Obviously, you've had a bit of a rest since your last game.
No big changes. I think everybody's fit apart from David. I think let's see how Granit is as well, and for the rest, I think we all have to be okay.
As I say, you had the weekend off. Can you still take the sort of momentum and belief from that great result and performance against Chelsea into this game?
Yes, we've been much more consistent the last few weeks in the Premier League, which is really positive. We have 2 games to go, and I still think it's mathematically possible. So let's try to get the best outcome possible.
Yeah, you mentioned it still being mathematically possible for Europe, and with the other teams not playing till tomorrow, you can go above Everton and put a bit of pressure on Spurs and West Ham if you win as well.
That's all we can do at the moment. It's not in our hands. What we can do is win our 2 remaining games, which is possible, and then see what happens.
And, you know, would that represent a successful season if you did still manage to get European qualification, be it for the Europa League or the Europa Conference League?
I think to have a successful season in this club, you have to be having trophies in your hands.
Looking at the game itself, Palace will have fans back in at Selhurst Park. Can you feed off that, even though they're all going to be home fans cheering on Palace?
It doesn't matter. It's so great to have fans. We're going to be lucky enough to have our fans back in the last game, which we cannot wait for. And to have fans there as well is going to make the atmosphere much better and back to how this game has to be played.
Looking at Palace as well, we don't know yet if Roy Hodgson's going to carry on beyond the end of this season. Just a word about the job he's done. 4 seasons in charge, and he's kept them up comfortably.
He's an absolutely legend. What he's done in football, for English football, I think what he transmits as a manager, as a person, the work he's done at different clubs, I think it's remarkable. And to keep doing it for so long with the way he's always conducted himself, I think it's a great example. For me as a young coach, it's someone that I admire.
Thanks, Mikel.
Thank you.
Thanks, Mark. We'll go to Geraint from Sky Sports.
Hi, Mikel. Good morning to you. How are you?
I'm good, thank you.
Good stuff. Mikel, can I first of all start off with, obviously, David Luiz announced a few days ago that he's going to leave the club at the end of the season. Can you just talk about his decision and the influence that he has as a player for you at this club, and perhaps wider in football as well, because he's a very visible figure in the Premier League?
Yes, it is. It's a player that has won everything in football, and he has earned every right to do so because who he is as a player and as a person. I had the privilege to work with him for 18 months. I really enjoyed. I think we got on really good. I think we had some great moments together, and he's been really helpful. Someone that we really like and appreciate so much. So just say thank you to him and wish him the best of luck in his next chapter, because I'm sure, knowing David, that he would have many more to come as a player and in the future somehow related to the game.
Can I also ask you about Willian as well? Obviously, you know, he was signed on a longer-term deal. What, as far as you know at this moment in time, what is the situation with Willian? What are your hopes? I suppose probably a better question to ask you. What are your hopes for Willian in terms of his future at Arsenal?
Well, first of all, that we sign a player with an incredible talent, proven talent and performance level in this league, and this season has been difficult, and I take again full responsibility because I have to be the one getting the best out of him, and we had moments, but not to the level that he did before. And these are the assessments that we're going to do individually with the players, and as well, obviously, with Edu, the board, and the ownership to make the right decisions for the future.
Just a quick follow-up on that one. Do you think more likely than not that he'll remain at Arsenal, or can you not tell at this moment?
Well, every player that is under contract is very likely to be here with us next season.
Mikel, just moving on, just to following up on an earlier question, it was about sort of the run that you're on at the moment, that a strong finish, momentum, I think was a word that was used as well. Not so much where it can get you now, obviously, for European football, but how can a manager use that for pre-season, and obviously the hopes are for you now for next season as you have a much more successful season you've had this year, but can you tangibly explain to us what a strong finish to a season now could do for Arsenal?
Well, because winning creates a different environment around the place. It creates much more belief, and when you start to get in a run and you start to understand why this run is happening, it always helps to build for the future. A new season is a new season, and to get momentum one season to the other is not necessarily what is going to happen, but certainly it's really good to analyze performance and result-wise why those things happening, because it's really important for us to make the improvements that we need for the following season, and to know which keys we have to touch to make it work better.
Mikel, can I talk about a player that you've, I'm pretty sure you played against him, but clearly managed against as well. It won't have escaped your attention that Harry Kane is potentially looking for a move away for Tottenham at eye-watering figures. Just what kind of player is he? Probably with maybe both your hats on as a player and as a manager.
Well, I suffer him both ways, as a player and as a manager. I think English football should be so proud to have someone with his talent, with his quality, and as well with his consistency. I think what he's been able to do over the years in that position in this league, it's incredible. And the national team has someone that hanging into him. It gives you just the opportunity to compete against any team, because you know that he can win you the game any moment, and that's big words in football.
Mikel, just finally from me, and I apologise slightly in advance because I know you've answered lots of questions about this, but it's really from a slightly different perspective. In terms of whatever takeover, whatever there is, however much ways it goes, but just as a manager, clarity that you know what you're dealing with, in any essence of being a football club manager, how much does clarity help you, that you know exactly what's going on, whether it be, for example, with a board, with a takeover, with the players, the recruitment you want to do? How much does clarity help you, especially with the job that you want to do at this club?
Well, I think if I've been something, it's honest, and probably once I was too honest. And so when I could not see it or I had doubts, I say it. Now I have no doubts. It's so clear. It's a very clear statement from the ownership, very clear direction from the ownership, very clear direction with what we want to do. It's zero question marks there.
Mikel, listen, thank you as always for taking the questions. Much appreciated. Thanks for your time.
Thank you.
Thanks, Gare. We'll go to George Cummins from the BBC.
Thanks, Dan. Mikel, good morning.
Hi.
You're smiling when you're talking about David Luiz. I think a lot of people like him. Just tell us what's he like as a character, because he's supposed to be a great character. And how hard's it been for you to let him go?
Well, because when you get to know the person, his background, where he was raised in Brazil, what he's done to get to this point, it's remarkable. And then you understand a lot of things that happen for a reason, and sometimes it's not just an ability, a quality, or a determination. It's many other factors. I really enjoyed. I learned from him. He's been very helpful every time with the team, and I feel sadness as well, because you get attached to the players emotionally, and one is the player that we have to get the maximum out of it, and then is the person. And when it gets to these stages, it's tough, and it hurts, because that relationship now is going to be going away, at least in a space, or not see him every day. And again, I have to say thank you to him.
Was it your decision? Was it a joint decision?
We had a very clear talks in the last few months. We already had a big decision to make last year when we had to extend his contract, and in a very difficult moment during the COVID world and with the pay cuts and everything, and we managed to extend that for one more season. He's giving his best. I tried to help him as much as I possibly could, the club as well, and after some conversations we decided that is the best way to do it now.
and will Saliba be his replacement next season, do you think? Or have
You will see in the summer the possible replacement. William is our player for sure, and that's the decisions that we're going to be taking soon.
Okay, if I just ask you one about the season, I mean, when you took over Arsenal, had this problem of winning away at big sides and their record of dating top six. You've been eroding that, and you've been picking up these wins as you've gone. What's really cost you this season was that run in November, wasn't it? And that's really what damaged you. You lost them too many matches in a row.
That run in November was obviously crucial and determined, even with how consistent we've been after Christmas, not enough to reach the objectives that we wanted. I don't just put that down to that, George. It's so much happened at the club, and I believe in other factors as well sometimes to happen, why the ball is going in or not in, or a decision. It's very small margins. With everything has happened, if you analyze where we are and where we could be, it's not that far, but certainly it's not enough.
Thank you. Good luck. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, George. We'll go to Ian Abrahams from TalkSport.
Hi, Mikel. How
Hi.
are you?
Good.
So Harry Kane is leaving Spurs. Are Arsenal going to buy him?
I don't know if Harry Kane is leaving Sport. You're saying that, Ian. I don't know. I think he's still there.
If he is leaving Spurs, it's been reported that only really 3 clubs in this country, the 2 Manchester clubs and Chelsea, probably could afford to buy him. So does that sound you a bit that Arsenal haven't got that financial power right now if someone like Harry Kane is available?
I don't know. It's too many ifs. If he wants to leave, he will try to make the best decision for himself, I'm sure.
Yeah, I mean, obviously it's unusual for a Spurs player to join Arsenal. I'm granted on that one. You've spoken about David Luiz. You've also been linked this week with Ryan Bertrand. You're going to be linked with quite a few players. Is this going to be a busy summer for you, do you think?
Well, if I have to answer to every question about every possible transfer or players might be leaving, we will be sitting here for hours. What I can say, Ian, is that we know what we want to do. It's a clear plan to put that together. It's true that there are a lot of decisions to make because as well we have a lot of players on loan, some of them that have to come back, and we will see step by step, focus on the priorities that we have, and let's see how much we can do.
You said earlier that even getting European football wouldn't make it a successful season. It's all about lifting trophies above your head, which is a really commendable thing to say. But, you know, in terms of that, what do you have to work on for next season to make it successful? Have there been things that you've done wrong this year, things that players have done wrong, or has it just been a difficult season in the whole?
I want to reflect now the next week or so when we finish, but I'm sure that I've done a lot of things wrong. 100% I can tell you now before going through it. So how am I going to make much better decisions, get the best out of this player, get the best out of the football club and all the resources that we have. I have spent a lot of time and effort identifying critical points to change, then how those changes are going to be made, in which time frame we could do them. I want to spend time building, creating, and with all the foundation that we have in place now, evolve the team, the club, everything the way we want to do. I want a pre-season, we can work with the players and create. I'm a really creative person. I think I want to create, evolve, and a lot of time since I've been come here, it's is to determine and make some very, very difficult decisions that have to undo. But I want to start doing more and more because the capacity that we have to do it's incredible. I'm so excited about that, and I see that moment of a lot of change as a big opportunity for our future.
You're like Picasso of football. You like to create things.
I'm not saying that. I say that I love to create. There's a lot of good things that we've done since we changed many things. There is still a lot to do, a lot to catch up. But our potential is incredible because I can see the ambition from the club first. And when we have that type of ambition, we have an incredible margin to achieve what we want.
One last thing, you really kind words about Roy Hodgson earlier, describing him as a legend. Do you think we're going to see managers like that in the future that have been managing for 30, 40 years. I mean, you're in the job, you haven't got grey hair on your head despite the fact
I do have. Well, I think we can count them with this hand, because what he's done, and in this league in particular, it's honestly incredible.
Brilliant. Good luck tomorrow night. Good to see you again.
Thank you.
Thanks, Ian. We'll go to Mark Mann-Bryant from PA.
Hi.
Just on David, if I may, was that an agreement made by the club, or was it a conscious thing made by both parties that he would leave?
It's after a few conversations that we had, David and I. We discussed this situation in different occasions, and the other day we made the final decision on that.
George asked you earlier about William Saliba, and with obviously you've not got an endless pot of money this summer, so does it make sense to give him a chance to show what he can do when he comes back from his loan move?
Again, when we finish the season, we will sit down. He's still competing. Sit down, discuss the roles of every member of that squad and how they can fulfill that role. And he's our player, so he will be back here for sure. And after that, we'll make the decision based on the agreement of the role that each player is going to have in the squad.
I know you've said many times that you've got plenty of players out on loan at the moment, but with William going in January, did he need that more than most, given that he needed to get out and play football with his age and his development and things like that?
Yes, I wouldn't like this happening at the start of the season when we make a certain decision, and because we had 8 central defenders, which is unheard of. But we didn't find the right moment, the right club, the right agreement to do that, and in my opinion, we could have used those 4 or 5 months in a better way. We tried to maximize them when we decided to keep him here till December, and now he's had a run of game that he needed after the difficult year that he had the previous season.
In the normal non-COVID world, you'd have been able to just jump on the Eurostar, obviously, and go and watch him on occasion. Have you still been able to monitor his development, speak to him and things like that? Absolutely,
but we still have great people doing that. Ben Napper is always in contact with him. He's the one creating every assessment. We are, as a coaching staff, obviously following his progression, watching his games, and in contact with him. So it's not an ideal world to feel that it still belongs here and you can have a face-to-face relationship, but we try to do the best possible way.
And just finally, Mikel, there was some speculation last week about the future of Bernd Leno. I think yesterday he said he wants to stay. In your eyes, will Bernd be your number one at the start next season?
It's another one with a contract here that because of the length of his contract, a lot of things, it will be speculating.
But he's not going anyway?
He has 2 years here and he belongs here.
Thank you, Mikel.
Thanks, Mark. All that was for 11 o'clock today. We're now going to Tuesday, 10:30 embargo. We'll kick off with John Cross from the Mirror.
Good morning, Mikel. Can I just take you back to Roy Hodgson, please? You spoke with so much warmth and affection towards him. I always feel that there's sort of within managerial circles, within managers, there's this kind of great respect and a support network. Is he very much like that? Is that one of the reasons why you look up to him? You know, his longevity, but also the kind of the kindness and the generosity that he offers to other managers.
Yes, but I think it's what he transmits to me personally, what I heard about him as well, and what he's done at every football club, how he has represented those clubs at different levels, and what he has always managed to do with his teams. And again, I love what I do, and I have an incredible passion, but as well I know how difficult it is in certain moments. So when the passion is always the driver and nothing else is as important, it's incredible because we love this game so much. And he has managed to put all the time that priority on the table, even when he didn't need it to do it no more, because he's proven at every place what he can do. And still to show that love to the game, I think we need people like this in this game.
Can I ask you, have you got a favourite memory or story of him? Was he particularly welcoming when you first became a manager?
Even when I was playing, all the time, the way he used to interact with the player, the coaching staff, when we faced him a couple of times right now, how kind they always been, and it's my feeling towards him.
Yeah, sure. He's 73, Mikel. I mean, could you see yourself as managing.
Well, today, I'm telling you, is really hard because I would have to be more that I lived up to this point, and I think I lived already a lot in my life at 39. That's what I'm saying. That and you have to go step by step, and you have to go through every boundary, every issue, enjoy the moments when you have to enjoy them for sure, and find that that love towards the game, and be able as well to make a lot of sacrifices, because I would like to see that one day with him and explain as well his family, and his environment, his friends, how he has dealt with that. Because not only the external pressure, the pressure we put ourselves or dealing with the players on the board and or fans, is your own environment, your family, your loved ones. Jesus, they need a lot from us as well,
Yeah. Arsenal always used to say, "I'll never manage until into my 70s," and then he went and did the same.
Well, Arsenal was another great example, and how much these people are able to give. It's remarkable.
Can I just ask you finally, after this weekend, the players have got almost, what, I think 7 weeks off? Well, not 7 weeks before pre-season training, but before the start of the next season. Just how important will this summer be for those obviously not involved in internationals, but for, as a refresh, as a reset for football, in footballing standards, I guess, as well?
Well, it will be only for a low percentage of players in the squad, because others, they have international duty. But just the advice from us is for those that have this opportunity, and I include the staff, the coaching staff, even myself, take that opportunity and disconnect a little bit, because it's been a really demanding and challenging season, and there is a lot of people, again, our close one, that they need us, and our body as well sometimes is asking for something, and when we have the opportunity, which we didn't have last year, I think we have to take it.
Thanks so much. Good luck to you.
Thank you, John.
Thanks, John. We'll go to Sam Dean from The Telegraph.
Hi, Mikel. You mentioned the stresses and strains it puts on family and loved ones there. How have you dealt with that over the last 18 months when it has been so chaotic and relentless?
Well, I think, very lucky, because I don't know, I could not ask for anything else, starting from my wife. She understands every situation, all the time, the support, the love is there, the energy that they are able to create at the house when you come in, and after a win or a loss, it's completely different feeling. I always find the same environment. I have 3 boys and 2 dogs. My 3 boys, the energy, the love that they give me, just when they hug me, it's you cannot describe that. So they need from me now that I give something back as well. In the summer, I cannot wait to have them next to me, jumping all over me all the time. Give as well time to my wife, and then I haven't seen my dad, my mom, my sister, which I adore them, for over a year now, and I really need them. The same with my friends. I need to smile, laugh, enjoy, and do those things. And at the same time, you have to reflect on what you've done and be very critical to yourself, and how can you do better the next season.
You said in July last year that you could write a book based on the first 6 months in the job. You could probably write 2 or 3 books now.
Yeah.
Do you think this is just what management is like, or has this been especially crazy?
Well, there are parts that it's what management is like, and some other things that I've been through are unprecedented. But I don't know, I face them the best possible way all the time, trying to be as fair, as honest, and as analytical as possible, and all the time with just one intention, which is make the right decision for the football club and defend the football club as much as I possibly could, and make the people who follows us and give us our time, dedication, and love, and make them as proud and happy as possible with the way we conduct ourselves and the way we play.
Thomas Tuchel said before the cup final that he likes to meditate for 20 minutes every morning, and that occasionally he'll go for runs after matches to burn off the energy. What do you do to switch off and manage your body and your mind?
I think my bubble are my 3 kids and my wife. And when I'm into that bubble, it's when my system goes down and I get the emotions that I need all the time. I do that every morning with them. I never leave my door without see them, and that's the way I start my day. And when I do that, my day always starts good, and then you start to face every single thing that comes along the way.
So you're not still doing the yoga classes?
No, I used to do a lot of Pilates in the summer. I always do that when I have more time. I really like it as well. But yeah, Thomas is doing well, so maybe it's a good advice.
And just finally, would you say you're a different coach to the coach who took over in December 2019? Has your ideas on the game changed or management changed at all, or are you the same person?
Well, I certainly have the same principles of way of trying to deal with situations, but obviously you learned a lot. Experiences, I think, makes you better, makes you challenge yourself. You have a few more scars in your body, which are very necessary as well, and you have a better overview as well of a lot of things that probably when you start, you don't think they are as important, and I think that's part of the evolution of a coach as well.
Thanks, Sam. That was for tonight at 10:30 p.m. Now, finally, we'll go to Jack Rosser from the London Evening Standard. This is for Wednesday, 12 p.m.
Morning, Mikel.
Hi.
I wanted to follow up on what John was saying about how, some time off would be good for everyone, and you mentioned that it might be helpful for the coaching staff. With that plan that you've spoken about and wanting to start creating for next season, will you be able to take any time off, or will you be, actively trying to get every inch you can?
I think it's time for everything. I think first thing I'm going to do is reflect everything that we've done, which we have already started, and put the priorities and the order of how we're going to do things. And after that, you have to change the environment. For me to be able to disconnect, I have to change the environment. I am going to do that, and while I'm there, I'm already in a different mode. And from there, you have to find the right moments during the day to over time be accessible and be able, when you have to make decisions, suggestions, or talk to the important person that are going to be involved in certain things, be able to do that as well.
So not too much of a holiday for you then?
No, it will be a holiday, but in a different way. It's not when you were a player, you just disconnect and train a little bit, and that's your job. So you are not 100% disconnecting. Here is the same, and I love what I do so much. So for me, it's not an issue at all.
And just quickly, I wanted to ask about Aubameyang. Obviously, last summer was such a short turnaround for him. There was everything around his contract, and he's had his own personal struggles this year. How good would it be for him to end with a couple of goals and then just be able to walk off and have that summer for him personally? And what could that do for him next?
Yeah, and if those goals help the team to win the games, it's the ideal scenario, because it gives you the last taste, which is a positive taste. We know that it's been a really complicated season for him in many reasons. One is a personal one, which has been challenging. But this is all about in sports. If you have a challenge, you have a difficult moment, how you react to that.
Cheers, Mikel. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jack. Thanks, everybody. See you soon.
Thank you.